All right, what's your name, age, and major?
Joe Hodges, 20 years old. I'm a business major.
And when was the first time you heard about data mining? Wait,
Um,
hold on, sorry. What's your concentration in business?
I'm concentrating in finance and consulting.
Okay, and do you know what you're doing after you graduate yet?
Yes, I'm working for a consulting company in Atlanta, Deloitte.
And when was the first time you heard about data mining?
The first time I heard about it was probably in high school, junior, senior year. I just heard about cookies tracking on your browser and about how companies could use that. I didn't really understand it at the time until I took a marketing class in the business school where they talked a little bit more about it and how the companies actually used it.
Okay, do you want to elaborate at all about what you learned in that class? And
Yeah, basically, companies really want to know who their customers are and just what their behaviors are, what patterns they use in order to create their products and market their products in different and better ways. Really try and get in front of the customer with their product. So, like, what do they like to, what websites do they like to go to, what types of videos they like to watch, etc. And they also know what do people value in their products based on who they are and what they do. And so that's why they do data mining to collect all that and shape their products.
yeah. Do you have any initial concern, or do you have any initial, like, preconceived notions about data mining?
Yeah, I mean, I learned a lot about it this summer at my internship because I work for a marketing company and they did a lot of data mining. For example, they would know if a certain customer, what browser they came in on, what type of internet connection they came in on, and then what they ended up doing like within the purchase process. So I know a lot about it and how companies use it. So I guess I am a bit biased, but I haven't thought too much about it.
And what website communities do you find yourself most active in, and why are you attracted there?
I'd say I'm most active on Twitter, ESPN, and StumbleUpon. And I think I like Twitter just because it's very short and condensed. I can catch up on what my friends are doing and also news around the world really quickly. I like ESPN just because I like all different kinds of sports. And I like StumbleUpon because I like just going to random stuff when I'm bored.
And what comes to mind? Okay, so you mentioned back in your internship some of the things they learned about the customer in terms of like internet connection and process of purchasing and things like that. But could you tell us like um, were they pulling like a general picture of the customer? Like, was there any sort of like is there like do you have an opinion on the accuracy of data mining that was done during your internship? Like, were you exposed to any
Yeah.
results of the data or whatever?
Yeah, I could definitely talk about that. One project I did was for a home security system,
Yeah.
and I looked at thousands of rows of customer data, and they would have the customer ID number. They'd have these columns across the top, and it would be like the internet connection, what browser they were using, whether they're on a phone, if they're on a phone, what type of phone was it, all sorts of data that could then be used, and then you saw if that customer ended up actually buying the product or not. You could compare the users of certain types of browsers versus whether the likelihood that they were to purchase, and you could tell that more expensive type browsers, or more expensive like computers, etc., and internet connections were more likely to lead to a sale. But at the same time,
So there were no like consumer preferences, for example, in that specific data mining. Like, it wasn't like registered Democrat, age, or whatever. Was there?
no.
There wasn't like, it wasn't like a multi variable. It was just very basic, not that invasive. You'd say, is that how you would? I mean, I don't want to put the words in your mouth, but that,
Yeah.
I mean, basically you're describing something that's not that invasive, seemingly, and
Yeah, it
very
wasn't any
basic.
personal data.
Yeah.
We tried to make inferences about their personal lives from that, but not on a very detailed level. We were just concerned about sales. We weren't really concerned about knowing the customer.
Oh, cool. Okay, and you believe there's an ethical dilemma in using data mining outside of the economic spectrum, like in politics, or, I mean, essentially I'm concerned about how you feel about politics and data mining, but in other sectors as well, if you can think of another one.
Outside of the economy, I'd say definitely there's some ethical concerns. with national security, with politics, with all sorts of deals. I think with politics it's not that big a deal. I can't really see how it would be used negatively. The most common way is for people to try to figure out what voters feel and then change their messages to match what voters feel, which I think is a good thing, because I think politicians should be in touch with their constituents. But at the same time, if they're just bending their message to what people are saying and then don't actually do it, I think that would be a problem. But it's a matter if they can carry through, if they follow through on what people want. I think it would be a good thing, but it could be used poorly.